Here in Woodward Park, it's absolutely a beautiful morning. The birds are chirping. There's a nice breeze. The sun is shining. Leaves are falling. There's some fall color on some of the trees. It's absolutely beautiful. The only thing I'm missing is Brother Ed running by here. Probably a little late for that. But we find ourselves in the book of Job, chapter 38 this morning. And our verse is verse 18. It says, "Hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare if thou knowest it all." Job has been discussing his issue with his friends. They have been trying to assist him to help why he's going through all this calamity. Their line of thinking is there must be some sin in his life, and if they can just root out this sin, they could come to the fact that this is why God is allowing this to happen. Job is defending his righteousness and saying that's not what it is, and they're going back and forth. They really don't know what's going on. God enters the scene. Chapter 38, verse 1, "Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, Who is this that darkens counsel by words without knowledge?" They did not fully comprehend what was going on. And so in our devotional verse this morning, we find that God's saying, you don't even understand the creation. How are you going to understand the Creator? Good point. Take a look here in chapter 40. It says this in verse 2, "Shall he that contend with the Almighty instruct him?" And so here in this passage, it's like, are you going to instruct God? Is that what you're really going to do? And we think, why would Job do that? That's astounding to think about that. But if you really pay attention to our own prayers, sometimes our prayers, we call them requests, are instructing God in what we would like to see done in our lives or what we'd like to have. It's as if God is there to serve us in our lives and we're not there to serve Him. We have really flipped this thing around. Job 38 and on through 40, we ought to really look at this and we ought to see God as who He is. There are verses here in these chapters that we're still wrangling with. What does this really mean? We're beginning to get some understanding through science that God was giving Job some tremendous insight here of who He was. But Job's whole focus was, why is this happening to me? And his focus wasn't on God, and God was trying to shift that. Our entire focus for our lives, for children of God, needs to be on God. There are going to be difficult things that happen in this life. That is true. Some of that is just because we are in a sin-sick world. Some of that is discipline, and some of that is trials and testing to strengthen us. The thing we need to do through all of it is to focus on God. What would God have me to do? That's a hard thing because we live in the flesh and we want to take care of the flesh, so much so that we lose our focus and our way. Let this be an encouragement for us to focus on the Lord. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to these devotionals, and I hope that they are helpful for you. If you're new to this, these devotionals come from Bogard Press, and you can either get the book from them out of Texarkana, or you can go onto their Facebook site, Bogard Press, and they have them every morning. Be in the Word of God. Allow it to expand your view of Him. May God richly bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow.